Good evening, everyone. Welcome to worship at Emmanuel Lutheran Church, and welcome to anyone who is worshiping at home this evening. My name is Tammy Delvo. I'm the choir director and worship leader here at Emmanuel, and tonight we will be singing our Holden evening prayer service for the first time during our Lenten season. We welcome Pastor Patrick Patterson from Trinity. He's here with us tonight, preaching for our Round Robin Lenten series in community. And we wish Pastor Jamie well. She's off preaching at another congregation this evening. So let's prepare our hearts and minds for music and worship this evening.
You guys can go. Jesus Christ, you are the light of the world. The light of darkness can overcome. Stay with us now, for it is evening, and the day is almost over. Let your light scatter the darkness and shine within your people here. May God be with you all, and also with you. Let us sing our thanks to God. It is right to give our thanks and praise. Blessed are you, Creator of the universe. From old you have led your people by night and day. May the light of your Christ make our darkness bright. For your word and your presence are the light of our pathways, and you are the light and life of all creation. We will have everybody this side of the aisle be group one. Everybody on this side of the aisle, be group 2. May our prayers come before you, O God, as incense, and may your presence surround us and fill us, so that in union with all creation we might sing your praise and your love in our lives.
Well, good evening. Our reading this evening is from John chapter 1, beginning at verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through him, and without him not one thing came into being. What has come into being in him was life, and the life was the light of all people. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. There was a man sent by God whose name was John. He came as a witness to testify to the light, so that all might believe through him. He himself was not the light, but he came to testify to the light. The true light, which enlightens everyone, was coming into the world. The gospel of the Lord. Okay, y'all. You all make a great choir. Wow. That flute, I'm just floating out of my seat over here. Wow. I really love that you didn't even have to show 2 parts. You just said 2 parts, and you sat down. That's awesome. A good Holden evening prayer is so valuable, and thank you for doing that. Well, thank you for letting us pastors move around a little bit this Lent. I don't know if you even knew we were doing it, but we thought that would be a great idea, this Lenten round robin, so that you get to experience a bunch of different voices during this time of Lent. And the theme, of course, is in community. And so we have different preachers on different topics, and each of us gets to present at all of the different congregations. So it's a wonderful thing, and it hopefully is one of those situations where when you get Jamie back, you're so thankful to have Pastor Jamie back, right? That's our goal, is that each one of our congregations is thankful to have us here. But, so I get in creation. I chose last, so I didn't really choose. But it was such a great one for me because I love the concept of God's creation. And when you think about creation and what the text was that I selected, I bet you were surprised, right? You were thinking, wait, Genesis 1 or Genesis 2, whichever one of those creation stories you want. But I think that this one in the beginning of John so much expresses the awe and the beauty of creation, right? It has to be poetic because you can't express what creation is all about without using a little poetry, right? You can't, it's just not the same. So the bounty of creation is just all around us. I know we're kind of on a busy street here in a busy corner, Trinity as well, cars buzzing by all the time. We have these beautiful woods that head almost down to May Street from our congregation, this big weird triangle that somebody gave us along the way. And we can't do a thing with it. We thought, what a great place to have a campfire location, maybe some interpretive trails through the woods. But what do you hear? Cars are buzzing by constantly. We can't even do a good outdoor worship service because the ambient noise from Highway 12 or Claremont is so high. What I love to do, and I think Greg's one of those people too, Marv, the worship up in the Boundary Waters is my favorite. Sunday mornings in the Boundary Waters, having a little prayer service on the rock before you pack up and load out on a typical weekend, that is worship, surrounded by creation. So that's where I come to you from, this a lover of the outdoors, getting outdoors, doing things. And as you know, it's getting more challenging all the time. And I think you all are pretty far advanced in that. I saw some Priuses out there. Don't know who that would be. But the care of creation is so important. And we've started a green team. I know there's a green team through the Synod. I don't know if you guys have one going there yet. Way to go. You know, and so a lot of this you already are probably doing, right? A lot of this care of creation. God's creation is all around us. It's in us, right? We're made from the dust. You got that on your forehead last week, maybe. A lot of us had to cancel the evening worship services, but at least our 12:15 got that dust as a remembrance, not only of the brevity of this life, but also of how we're kind of united together through that dust. It's in you and you and you, and we're all part of that. And so caring for that creation, being in community with creation is so vitally important to what God has created, right? That beautiful intro to John, that beautiful song, you know, in the beginning was the Word. Nothing came into being except through the Word, right? Called things into existence. And while many people feel like, well, we were given dominion over this place and we can use it however we want, God told us dominion isn't meaning to consume it all, right? It's to be a steward of it all. And so we need to continually remind ourselves of ways that we can help creation be healthy. Speaking of creation, one of the most important creations there is you, right? God created you You are part of creation. You are co-creators with God. And because of that, it's so important for us to have self-care. A lot of people in churches don't do a really good job with self-care, right? We all want to help others, but we have to help ourselves first. That little, hello, put on your oxygen mask before you help others. It's a really important thing. And self-care is caring for creation. And so don't forget about that. We always think, we got to go do the waters and the pollution and all that, but start with you first. And by having good diet, good exercise, good practices, hopefully some spiritual practices along the way, you'll take really good care of yourself. And then, of course, the next extension is that person sitting next to you. Once you're caring for yourself, it's about caring for your neighbor. God's greatest command is to love your neighbor as yourself, right? And so we need to take care of them and help them in different ways. Now, I know Pastor Sarah Bishop from the Synod is going to be talking about those on the margins. And so I won't go into much about that. But, caring for others is all about helping those with food insecurity and housing insecurity and those sorts of things. Just being a good neighbor. I was just at Target today, and, people sometimes get kind of that scowl on their face, and they're really busy, and I walk around with a Buddha smile on my face, just conveying that I love you, man. I don't know what your thing is or what you just are going through, but, just smile at people. It really freaks them out. So it's kind of fun that way. But, of course, once you get the good sleep and you're out there, now you've got some energy to care about some other things. Water is an incredible thing, right? We have to drink 96 ounces. I'm trying for 100 each day. So that's part of my self-care, but it brings up the point that how valuable that is. Very little of our water on our earth is actually something we can drink. And so we got to take good care of it. And I know that there are people who will tell me that they used to hunt ducks out on Claremont by where Trinity is now. It's gone. Our wetlands are disappearing. We've got to take good care of our wetlands, take good care of our water. One way to do that is to eat lower on the food chain, right? Actually, by eating more plants and vegetables and those kinds of things, we're saving water. We're conserving that. Try a meatless Monday. And there's all kinds of statistics out there about all of these things, how much, this will save and that will save. That's not important, but just the knowledge of putting those things into your practices to try and help conserve that water. And, of course, we've got the brushing your teeth, making sure you're not running the water when you're doing that, and all of those things. Love to collect water in a rain barrel so you can do watering of your plants through a rain barrel. Unfortunately, since we've moved here, we haven't gotten one installed yet. So I just have to tell you, I also drove up in a truck. So it was supposed to be a Lightning electric truck, but I still haven't gotten to order that. But what I'm trying to say is we all need to continue to work on it, and it's a balance. You can't do everything. You're going to have to make some choices along the way, and that's a really important thing too. But yeah, the Meatless Monday is a really good thing for water. We do that up at YMCA Camp de Nord. So reducing those pesticides help your body. It cuts down on what's going into our environment, and that cutting down on paper. Who's the administrative person around here who keeps track of the money? Do you know that paper is 3 times the amount it was a year ago? 300% increase. We're not doing bulletins. We give a little announcement sheet, but that's it, because Paper is really expensive, but if we cut down on paper, we also help the environment, and taking care of our creation is so important. Composting is helpful. What a wonderful thing to cut down on the waste in your, and so how many, is there anything I've said this far that you didn't know that you're not doing? Like I said, I feel like I'm a little preaching to the choir here. But yeah, when I was down in Nicaragua, my daughter was on a year-long mission trip, a gap year thing, and we got to go see her in March of her trip, of her year trip. There are plastic bags of every color hanging in trees everywhere. If you've ever been to Nicaragua, it's like, oh, it's this tropical paradise, but it's really polluted. I went a year later to our missionary down in Chile. There are no plastic bags anywhere. They've outlawed single-use plastic bags. And what a difference. You know, you usually see them along somewhere. I get some in my trees. So getting those great reusable bags is really helpful to help God's creation just be a little better. The LEDs and the smart thermometers these days all are really helpful. The vehicles cutting down on your use of carbon fuels and that kind of thing. All of these are about loving your neighbor, right? It's about taking care of something we're a part of, and that's God's creation. So the thing to remember is that we're all in this together. All of us need help and reminders and that kind of thing. So as we make those choices, always trying to do it thinking, you know, I'm doing this for my neighbor. I'm doing this for my children. I'm doing this for my grandchildren. So remember that no matter what we do, we're in this together. We're in community with creation. And so let us stand. Do we stand together for this next part? Yeah. I usually do. Let's stand as you are able, and we'll continue with the Holden evening.
Let the light shine in the darkness. And the darkness has not overcome it. An angel went from God to a town called Nazareth, to a woman whose name was Mary. The angel said to her, "Rejoice, O highly favored, for God is with you. You shall bear a child, and his name shall be Jesus, the chosen one of God Most High." And Mary said, "I am the servant of my God. I live to do your will." My soul proclaims your greatness, O God, and my spirit rejoices in you. You have looked with love on your servant here, and blessed me all my life Great and merciful God, source and ground of all goodness and life, give to your people the peace that passes all understanding, and the will to live your gospel of mercy and justice through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. God, remember us in your love and teach us to pray. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. Save us from the time of trial and deliver us from evil. For the kingdom, the power, and the glory are yours, now and forever. Amen. Let us bless our God. Praise and thanks to you. May God, Creator, bless us and keep us. May Christ be ever light of our lives. May the Spirit of love be our guide and path for all of our days. Amen. Go in peace.